All right, hold on. Very good morning to you people out there. Turn on the fan here. Bear with me, folks, as the studio set comes alive. Sorry, that's what happens when you drink tea. Very good morning. Happy July the 10th. Thank you. Um, this episode, as you know, is brought to you by. If you don't know by now, watch the last episode. The Organics chai spice organic tea from Vaughn's, Carrier Pavilions. I think it's like $2.99 on sale. I highly recommend it. No special ingredient in this time because if you remember from the last couple episodes, I told you don't put it in all the time. You put it in sometimes. So that's how you get the maximum effect from this stuff. I started drinking the tea. I have my jacket on, but of course, as you know, you get it's harder, and stuff. So put on the fan and forget it. So don't mind the babbling, rambling guy here. That's me. So, the title of this episode is "Do Not May the Frisbee Be with You." So, what do you think that means? What is that? What do I imply by that? Of course, frisbees, UFOs. Ah, you know, I can start with this. You're gonna open up the can of worms here, which now they call aerial AEP, trying to change the narrative, aerial phenomenon, whatever, UEP, unexplained, UAP, unexplained aerial phenomenon. So we want to call it, right? And you want the easy answer, is what you want. You want the easy answer. What is it? What do you think it is? What do you think that you think you're seeing? What are crop circles? What do you think that you think you're seeing? Now, if you've been listening to what I talk about, you're looking for what's called the vague answer, the yes or no answer. Is it this or is it not? And some things are just not that simple to explain. Is it a hoax or is it not? What's your definition of a hoax? Well, is it man made? You're going to have to open up your mind here. I'm going to try to do my best to give you a partial answer. Let's stick with crop circles, okay? Now, when people say man made, you're thinking of like at night, late at night, they're going out to this field and they're using whatever, like machinery to make these complex designs in the wheat or whatever. And then the counter argument is made saying, well, wait a second, there's some type of magnetic field, energy that being left there. It can't be done by man. So what does that leave? Now remember what was it Sherlock Holmes said? Also, the line was reprised by Spock in Star Trek 6. If you eliminate the impossible, however improbable, whatever remains must be the truth. Okay? Now here's the problem. Most people are thinking here. Okay? What does that mean? Well, it's a man made. The tractor made it. guys hoaxed it, or it's from extraterrestrials, it's aliens, it's a ship, whatever comes down and does that. That's it. That's all your mind can think of. You can't think of anything else. There's no other way of anything. Of course you can't think of it. Of course you can't think of it because you're here. Why don't you tell us? Because you're not even entertaining any other possibilities of what is considered man-made. You don't. You can't figure it out. I'm going to have you, I guarantee you cannot figure it out unless I tell you. And that's one possible option that you're not even thinking of. I haven't even told you yet. I might not. Because it's like, I think about this, and you get into it with these people, and they just give you all these counter arguments of stupidity and things because they can't even fathom anything of what is being done. I don't say I know definitively, but I have a more open mind than those two possibilities. Okay? So let's see if you can figure it out. Again, eliminate the people in the tractors, doing that, okay? And eliminate the possibility of a UFO flying saucer doing it, okay? What other possibilities are there? I want to see. This is archived. What I always do is I leave this up there. So people in the future, I want to see if their brains, if they're using their imagination, and can come up with any other answer. Or maybe I'll just wait, and talk about things other times. I could move into other things like the Phoenix Lights, the one over Stephenville, Texas. I could get in all that other stuff and see what people are thinking. But I'll stick with I'll finish the crop circles thing. I just want to see because I just when you talk to people that are down here or sheep, they can't even understand. Interdimensional, but I didn't say extraterrestrial. Well, what else is there? You can't think of anything else because you don't know of anything else because your mind is not able to conceptualize. But mine does. I didn't say I know definitively, but I have a theory that nobody has addressed yet. Now, when you're thinking man-made, you're thinking like the guys are going out there, whatever. They're using some type of thing. They're cutting it or whatever on the ground. But what if it's not cut from the ground? What if it's man-made but not man-made the way you think? Is it starting to open up for you? I gave you a very good hint. Listen to what I said very, very carefully. It's man-made, but not man-made the way you think. When you think about that. How can something be man-made, but not made by man in the way that you think? What does that mean? Well, I want to see. I'm curious. See, that's why I do this, because I want to leave this up to where gives you time to think. Because I already know. I'm not making this up as I go along. I already know. And again, I'm not saying I have a definitive answer, but I want to see if you can rationalize before I just spit out what I think. One idea made by man, but not made by man in the way that you think. Okay. Is it possible that those designs are coming from a satellite? It has to be shot on a certain frequency. Satellites are made by man. Satellites are controlled remotely by man, but they're not man-made. Is it possible? Is it possible? So you think you're seeing looks like something, but it's not. Theory. And they're using it, some type of high frequency, certain type of pulse weapon, something. And that's how they test it through design. Like that. I think it would be very interesting. More than likely, that's exactly what's going on. I think so. But the narrative is for you to believe that there are flying saucers and grays. I'm sure they have another name. That's what they're called. These advanced beings from other systems, Vega or whatever, the Palladians. We call them grays. What do they call us? Tans? Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Was it movie Fire in the Sky? And it scared the shit out of people. That Travis Walton story. I've seen them all. Men in Black, ID4, Starship Troopers. This is the best they can do. This is like them using their imagination. So stupid. I mean, it is. What was that? V? Original? The remake? The reptilians come here. They need our water desperately. Meanwhile, it's the most abundant element. It's everywhere. It's stupid. That's because they're talking to you like you're stupid. What was that other one? Childhood's End? Not mistaken, Arthur Clarke's book. The Overlords. I think in the book, their ships come. And they won't show themselves. They said you gotta wait a generation because you will not be able to handle what we look like. And I remember, I think the description was kind of like a very tall being, like resembled kind of like a standing cockroach. Would make sense, wouldn't it? Since they say that the roaches were they've outlasted, they survived, all the thing. They're built to survive. It's not very far fetched that an extraterrestrial could resemble, a humanoid type cockroach. Be interesting, I think. If I'm not mistaken, most people do not like roaches. This would create quite a problem if advanced beings came here and they resembled 8 feet tall cockroaches that walked. Wow. That would be very interesting. I think very possible, though. Very possible. I watched on YouTube, I saw they were comparing the size. They were showing compare the size of the Earth to everything in the universe, the stars and everything. And then it just everything gets bigger and bigger. And I forget the names of the suns, the jeez. It makes our sun look like a nothing. Just these things they're so big, it's unbelievable. And some of the planets are that gigantic. Imagine what's on there. You couldn't even fathom in your mind. You should be happy there's plenty of space between us and them. You couldn't even begin in your imagination to even understand what the only thing you imagine is what's the Avatar or stupid movies. That's what they try to sell you. And that's what you believe. That's the nonsense. The vastness of space. And you think there's these flying saucers that are coming here with humanoid type gray beings that could possibly pilot it with their mind, and they're crashing here. Or was it the Roswell narrative? Huh? You just go along and don't question, just believe that in 1947 something crashed there and it was retrieved. It wasn't the Air Force back then, it was the Army Air Corps, pre-Air Force, pre-US AF. And they came, retrieved all this stuff, whatever was there, and was taken the right path in Ohio, Dayton, I think it is, Ohio. And and that is that. And they say it was a weather balloon. And you want the answer. Was it or wasn't it? You have to stop thinking vague. Most people thinking vaguer. And you have to open up your mind to things that have not really been addressed about all of these incidents. Because you're looking this way, like normal. You're not seeing through anything. Because your mind can only conceptualize these stupid movies. That's all you have to go by. That's your reference. Okay, what happened during that time? You have to do your research. Okay? Have to do your research. If you don't know who J. Robert Oppenheimer is, and your head is so far in the New Mexico desert sand, in the white sands, then it might as well be up your ass. And that's what most people, that's what it is. The head is so far up their ass. You can't even begin to understand anything. Because you know, sorry, I like to drink this tea before, while it's still kind of warm, hot. That's why I'm always doing that. So I do apologize. But I will give you my theory. The detonation of the first atomic bomb happened at the Trinity site shortly prior. I think it was 1946, if I'm not mistaken. Don't know the dates exactly. It's definitely prior to the Roswell crash. It's the supposed crash. Actually, you can visit the site. I think it's open twice a year. It's on a military installation. It's government land. Why is that site so protected? There's an obelisk there, which is supposed to commemorate the actual location, the detonation of the first atomic test, which is incorrect. It is not the exact location. It's close. How do you know? It just is. Take my word for it. That day was very, very important. That's why there's a marker there, an obelisk, commemorating the event. There were many witnesses there. It was a big deal. In my opinion, it was a lot bigger deal than you can possibly imagine. And a lot bigger deal for reasons that you cannot understand. Yeah, it showed the U.S., where the power, splitting the atom, the power of atomic energy, causing extreme damage. Yeah. But did it ever occur to you that other people noticed it too? Not just people on the other side of the planet. Possibly people very, very far away. Very, very far away. In my opinion, that was the day the universal language was spoken. To other civilizations. We made our presence known, that they realized that they're at that point. They're there. Then the Roswell thing happened. Possible disruption, some interdimensional field, maybe possible. Or something open, which allowed that crash to happen. Or we were possibly sent a gift for our making progress. Scary. Don't really hear a lot of talk about any of that. They just stick with the narrative, There's many, many other possibilities, many others. But I still say that that experiment spoke the universal language. Anyway, that's what I think about that. Possible beings that resemble like the Greys, this type of humanoid things. Why not? Could be very logical, you know, kind of, but could be anything further away from that. Who knows? Don't you think there would do any type of intervention, an advanced being, civilization? I mean, we kind of are on the verge of destroying ourselves. Because what happens is, on our planet, there's only so much finite resources. I guess you can mine on asteroids or whatever, terraform the Mars they're talking about, something. Possibilities, but you're kind of up against clock here because the way that human nature is, we fight against other countries, so we're not all on the same page. We're supposed to be. Everybody's supposed to be one happy Earth, right? But unfortunately, no, it doesn't work that way. There's something called greed, and just as the top 1%, the Warren Buffetts, that have it all and give none of it out, so is the way it works around the planet. We use a lot of resources up, and people do not, for the most part, care. For the most part is the key word. On the smallest, the smallest way, in the most minute ways that you can possibly imagine, I can prove to you that people do not care about the planet in general. The littlest things that you ever watch somebody driving and their windows open, they throw shit out just in the street, whatever. Don't care. Most minute thing. See how much crap is in the ocean? How much plastic is in there? It's the size of Texas. Plastic the size of the whole state of Texas in our ocean. In the Pacific or something. I don't know where. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't know. Doesn't matter why. It matters that people don't care. Okay? Very important to understand this. Talk about global warming, and they talk about saving the environment. They talk about this. But do you know who talks about that? This. The people are this. And they don't care. Okay? And what happens when this doesn't care? And the planet doesn't care. What happens when the planet doesn't care? And then we have a major problem. And I know people like Elon Musk and these ideas and everything like that. You don't understand. This many people don't fucking care. Okay? And there never will. They never will. Okay? It's not in design for them to care in that way. It's not human nature to care in that way. You look at history. Okay, I know those young people, the young, yeah, the Gerda, whatever, like that. That sounds nice. That's really cute and everything. And that's why she gets a lot of attention. A little girl that cares, trying to speak up for the whole planet and everything like that. Put on television, it looks good. But if you want to hear the reality, you want to know the truth, it doesn't work. Okay? People don't change. Okay? They don't. Just as in history, wars have been fought since the beginning of time. That has not changed. And it's not ever going to change. There will always be war. As long as there's human beings on the planet, they will be fighting for territory, for control over the resources. That's just the way it is. The problem is that you're being sold the narrative that it's all gonna come to an end. The carbon emissions, all this kind of stuff they're trying to tell you. They're trying to tell you this, and then we're gonna save the planet and save the whales and save things and save everything. They're not gonna do anything. All right? You're being sold a fish story. Okay? Just like you think Warren Buffett's going to give up his 55 billion, whatever, to a lot of people or something like that. Fuck no. And it's the same thing in this regards. They don't care. Okay? I think I read something about, what was it? The Puerto Rico, there was a tornado in Puerto Rico. There was what is it, a tsunami? I don't remember. It was really bad there. Something happened. And like J-Lo gave $1 million, to help the people there. Oh God, so nice. So great. Gave $1 million. Wow. What was it? One time the Mayweather, whatever, gave a certain amount of money to charity. They have to. Do you understand that? They're not giving it out of the kindness of their heart. They're giving it because they have to. It's either you got a choice, either donate to a certain cause or you have to give it to the government, pay taxes. They're not giving anything because they care. They sell you that lie. They have to. That's the way it works. Like, that's my point. You're being sold a lie. And the sheep doesn't know anything. A sheep doesn't do research. It doesn't, try to use its intelligence to try to ascertain anything. Or they talk about, things that don't matter. They gossip. They talk about current events, things that don't. That's I told you. That's down here. They're not the doers. They're not the inventors. They're not the creators. They're nothing. So how can you know? You know what you know? What you see on CNN is what you know. Don't you watch the news? I remember that dope. That guy told me that one time. He got real mad when I said, no, I should challenge the narrative. I don't believe these people, round table discussion where everybody's arguing against each other and then the commercials come. How is this is and they try to make that look like research, so that you think, you're informed, you know what's going on. But it's not what's going on. What's going on is beyond, so far beyond what's going on that you're so far behind that you have no idea what's going on. You have absolutely no idea of what is going on. I can 100% guarantee you. It's so far behind what you think you see. You see this, right? Like you're watching, and the Republicans say today that, and then, the president's going to think about this and that. And then what happens is there's like this curtain behind that. And then there's like another curtain behind that. And there's another curtain behind that. And then there's like something behind that. And there's even something behind that. So even if you open up or you get past one curtain, you can't see what's behind that. And it goes further and further and further and further. Probably further than your imagination can even believe. And you won't even see you won't even make it past, you won't even get to the first curtain. You won't. Because the information that you're getting is coming from like what your perception is, what you're seeing. You couldn't, anything I'm saying is nothing even what I would consider partly interesting. Those things that they're showing on CNN, the UFOs, the Navy, those things they're showing, the Tic Tacs. Woo-hoo. There's a whole fleet of them. A whole fleet of what? A whole fleet of what? A fleet? How do you know what is a fleet? I remember Return of the Jedi. What did Emperor say? An entire legion of my best troops await them. Okay? The Star Destroyers or something. A whole fleet of them. What do you base that on? What are you basing your fleet on? Picking up these things? Whatever you think it is, moving at these angles, and then it just disappeared. Poof, it was gone. You're in a fucking F-16, that has weapons on it? You never thought to fire on it to see what would happen? Wasn't even mentioned once in any recording. Not one time did I hear them say, "Sir, well, you got something here that you know, the fuck is this?" As far as I know, you can't. It's restricted there. But something coming in to a destroyer within its proximity, and it's not fired upon. For whose order? Because there's more to the story than they're telling you. You don't know what it is. You can't fire on something. The hell you can't. Anything comes into, your threatens national security or something like that. Defense. Why do you think it's called defense? Something just come in. You find out what the fuck it is. And how do you find out what something is? You fucking try to shoot it down. But that's not even discussed one time on any of these things or in any of the papers or anything, because they don't want to address the hard questions. They want you to be stupid. And that's what sheep are. They're stupid. They go where it's told, and that's all the information that they get. They don't come up with nothing. Sorry, I don't know. I'm confused what I was saying. But you're what they're telling you is what they want you to believe. And it's almost like the crop circles analogy. It's either this or it's this. And that's it. It's just ridiculous. Who says? Because they tell you that? It's either this, it's either it's no, we don't have that technology to make it. Okay, so now it could be Chinese or Russian. That might have had a big breakthrough. Or it's beings, it's UFOs. UEPs, the unexplained UAP, unexplained aerial phenomenon. And we don't know what it is. We can't tell you what it was. It went in the water. I love that. It went in the water. I was trying to look. Was there a splash when it went in? Because they don't show you any video footage of anything going in the water. That would be kind of interesting, wouldn't you think? They only show you what they want to show you. And they show you nothing. It's just, you can't make summary judgment without evidence. What I think it is, it doesn't matter. I have my own views on all of this stuff. I think like really we're just being lied to. That's what I think. Well, the disclosure thing. Well, I don't know. I don't know who knows what or anything, because how can you? If you're not allowed to see all the evidence, how are you supposed to be able to make an informed decision? You don't have enough like information to be able to look into this properly. Could be one of many different things. But again, if you eliminate the impossible, Whatever remains, how improbable, must be the truth. Wouldn't matter anyway. Because if you listen to what I said about 10 minutes ago, there's just no way. You know, the way that human nature is. And you tell people, like, I watched this thing. It's just, I think it showed the Hindenburg blowing up over New Jersey, 1938. If I'm not mistaken, I watched. They showed the news clipping, video footage of it. I'm watching this fucking 1938, right? It's not less than 100 years ago, not even 100 years, 90 years or whatever, less. And it shows this Zeppelin flying over New York with on the tail has Nazi insignias on it. And I'm sitting there going, you got to be joking, right? The Nazi symbols on a fucking blimp flying over the United States like it's welcome. You're kidding, right? You know, you got to be joking. No, it's not joking. It's exactly what happened. And it was coming in the dock at whatever Lakehurst, New Jersey, when the hydrogen, you know, they showed the video footage of it. You know, people died on it. People jumping out for their lives. You know, the thing basically blew up. You know, hydrogen, big fireball inferno. Before like commercial airliners. Everybody thought that's going to be the future. The Zeppelins, the balloon, that's how people are going to get around. And then, not too much longer, too much later, you start up commercial airliners. So everybody thought that's going to be the future. But they're completely wrong. Completely wrong. They see something and they think this is what it is, and I think they're just completely wrong. But it's important. Why I mentioned Hindenburg. Because of human nature. World War II, war, and another war after that, and another war here, and this and that. What does that mean? It signifies that human beings cannot work out differences. That's why there's a war. It's a fight for something because two sides don't agree, and it happens all the time since the beginning of time. The weapons became more powerful after the atomic bomb. Then there was bigger ones that were tested. I know there's a treaty and everything, but that was not until Tsar Bomba. If you don't know what that is, look that up. You know, the U.S. thought he's like, okay, what do they make? There was a different. There was a neutron bomb or something. The U.S. Yeah, they're testing. Was it I forget it, the Falkland Islands, the giant test that happened, biggest U.S. detonation. And all of a sudden, Russia said, let's show you. We're going to show you something now. You think you have the power? Let us show you something, Kara. And he shows something called the Tsar Bomba. It was the biggest detonation ever. Way bigger than anything. I'm sorry, if I'm not mistaken, the biggest atomic explosion test detonation in the U.S. was called the Castle Bravo. Sorry, sometimes I forget. It's huge, Castle Bravo. And the Russians said, "We're going to show you something now." Tsar Bomba made the Castle Bravo look like a fucking baby. Then all of a sudden, that was it. We signed, there was a treaty. No more these atomic bomb testings getting out of hand. There hasn't been one since, but that was the point was that to the advances in technology, the power it became greater and greater and greater. What now when you set off something like that, you think like it's just it's set on an island, like it's nobody around, it's radiation fallout or whatever, but it's not going to do anything. It's okay. It's not going to do anything. It's okay. You see, like the mushroom cloud, right? The giant thing. But you're forgetting something. Down. Power sends shock waves throughout the planet. Very powerful. Again, I don't work for the USGS, Geological Survey. I don't know exactly what permanent ramifications there are from that. Can't be good. And then you see like the oil, the drilling constantly pull out the oil. I've always held the contention that like the oil is kind of like the lifeblood of the planet. It insulates. I've felt like insulates a bit of the wall, insulates the fault lines, you know, under the crust, the earth, whatever. It's needed there for a reason. It's not supposed to be extracted. Constantly take out, put nothing in. You don't think there's any price to pay for that? You just take out, you can just extract as much shit as you want from there. Yeah, there's plenty there. It's endless supply. You can use it all. Remember what happened to Praxis? Star Trek 6. It was their main mining facility. It blew up. What was the cause? Overmining. Told you, there's a lot of messages in movies. Now, I talk about a lot of bad things, that was there's a lot of negative, it sounds like, right? A lot of good that people do too. But that all the good that is created, art, music, and all these things, that does not take away from destruction and what we do. Doesn't negate the fact. People try to cover it up by saying that. But the reality is, the shit still goes on, and it will. Because those decisions being made are not. If you start to begin to understand, remember I talked about the curtains. You can't see behind any of them. And you think you decide. You decide, yeah, who's, and how everything, why things happen. You think that? Of course you do. You vote, don't you? Of course. But there's curtains. Behind those curtains, each one, where decisions are made that you don't see. Far further and further and further and further. And whatever you think that you're deciding, it's nothing. It's absolute nothing. It goes so far that it's not even worth talking about. And it's very interesting to me. But you can take it, you don't even have to try to even go past the first curtain, because most people will just argue amongst themselves. It's the Democrats, it's the Republicans, it's people that voted down, it's greedy of them and this and that. You can't even see beyond that. I told you, it goes so, and you can't even see, you don't even know there's a curtain there. That's how head in the sand most people are. Their head is in the sand. I told you what happened at Jekyll Island. If you don't, you got to go back and you got to. I didn't create that idea. Those decisions were made, and that's behind one curtain, probably. Most people don't even know that. And that's like nothing. You go past, how they can't even fathom in your mind. So it'd be ways to try to explain it to you. Because it sounds ridiculous. That pyramid is on that dollar for a reason. It's not there because, to appease Egypt. It's there because it's meant to be there. It's like right in front of you, or whatever, on the back. You think like it's just a joke or something? It's idiots? The pyramids at Giza? You can't figure out how it was built. Your head's in the sand. Yeah, we use ramps. I like I love all this stuff. What they did is, yeah, I've heard of the most far-fetched things. Everything but anything. I mean, I don't even want to tell you. I don't even want to tell you. I'll do it one episode, fine. Not this one. Not this one. I will not discuss how those pyramids were created and what their real purpose is. I'm not going to do it. Not this one. Not this one. I'll do it on another one. I have a theory. And of course, no one ever talks about that. Of course not. They were built by aliens. Yeah, where are they? Where's the remnants? Where's the tools they used to make it? What's the purpose then? Is it Stargate? That's what they show you. Dumb fucking. I was laughing. Movie was cute though. Oh yeah, there's a porthole, right? And that's the thing. It goes to the other dimension. It goes to another planet, and that's where those great pharaohs. They were travelers. They were extraterrestrials from another world. That's cute. And they go through the porthole, and then they're here, and that's their Stargate. They travel through. Cute. You believe that? Where is it? Where's the jump? Where's the fucking the jump gate? Where's the portal? You think it's in Cheyenne Mountain? Inside there's a portal that goes somewhere, like they show you in a stupid show in SG1. How'd it get there? Oh, they took it. Yeah, they moved it from the desert of Egypt inside that Cheyenne Mountain. Oh yeah, okay, that's real creative. You can move the location of the, yeah. I can't. I mean, I just can't. I don't know how many seasons that went. It went a little while. That's the fantasy, the nonsense that they want you to believe. And that's the only thing you can think of. Vague. Goes back to the first thing I said. Vague. It's either it was built by the Jewish slaves using ramps, or it was this Stargate people. They came here. I know I'm laughing when I say it because it's like, where's what did they left? They never came back. They built this huge thing, huge limestone, whatever it's the composite of, so close, and there's a pharaoh buried in it, the chamber, and there's a giant cat sphinx with a big paw, big paws. That's all. That's all people can think of. Okay. There's a Stonehenge as well. I like that one too. That fits right in also. They built it. The Druids built it. How did they get that stone on the top, right? Where did those come? Was a quarry? They said, they from thousands of miles away. They moved those stones to that exact location. That exact location in Salisbury, England. The only reason I know that location is because I keep thinking Salisbury steak. Used to be good frozen dinner, Salisbury steak. And they picked that location. It's got to be right there. It's an astronomical observatory. Okay? Great. Useless. Isn't there an equation? They don't really talk about it, but they say take the base height of the pyramid and you multiply it by its height times how many days there are in a calendar year. Not mistaken, it's something along those lines. You get the exact circumference of the planet. Exactly. Of our planet. Use of complex mathematics. Where's the proof? Well, there's supposed to be a hall of records underneath the Sphinx's paw. Rumor that was found, Zahi Hawass, whatever the curator, and they don't want to tell people about it or whatever. Hall of records or something. Who knows? It's not the only thing. It's just a theory. But I just don't hear anybody discussing any of this. I have a lot of them. I just do not hear anybody discussing this. I have one about the pyramids. Sometimes I just don't like throwing out my ideas because it's like I'm surprised nobody else even talks about it. No scientists, nothing. I'm talking about they said, oh, they put those stones in sand. I'm sorry, in water so they would be lighter, so they could move them into position or something. So they have the use of complex mathematics, but they can't figure out any other better way. It doesn't make any sense. You know this, but you don't know how to do this. Because it's a lot of shit is just I just think a lot of this shit is bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm waiting for them to discuss. I don't even want to talk about it. It doesn't matter. I don't even want to get into it. Sometimes I just they never talk about sound, the use of sound as the use of energy. They don't. It's too far fetched. possible way they were able to harness that? Nobody talks about that. That's my theory of how the pyramids were built. I think it's neither. I don't think it was extraterrestrials, and I don't think it was the Jewish slaves that moved it one stone at a time by manpower and put them into place. I just think a lot of it, is you're being told something and you're just told to believe that, and that's it. It's case closed, over. Roswell, case closed. I like it they call it case closed. Yeah, okay. Does that mean like Wright Patterson open, Case closed, it's open, like all whatever they took there? Where's all the stuff? Where'd you find there? Well, I was taken there. There's plenty of places that were closer than that. There's a rumor saying it was taken there. How do you know where anything was taken? Was it Kenneth Arnold, that guy, the weather balloon? That nonsense. I forget. I don't know. It's quite ironic. Around that time, they kept pushing these flying saucer ideas. If I'm not mistaken, though, the movie was over years before the War of the Worlds or whatever, radio broadcast, and then they showed this. Of course, they're selling you. They're selling you, whatever you think you can relate it to movies or something. Movies are made by people. It's not real. It's people's figment of their imagination. More than likely, unless they have any definitive concrete proof, which I have yet to see. Nothing. No ship, no evidence, no nothing. There's not one piece of anything. That black triangle you've been seeing around, well, I made a joke. I call it frisbees, These people believing in frisbees. They're believing in whatever they want to believe, whatever they think. They're seeing it in the movies. Or the idiots, they have their cameras, they're taking pictures. I like they're watching the thing, I like it when it's like in Mexico or whatever, in South America, And they're talking, oh, look at Grande. Grande, yes. Alien. Oh, it's like flying everywhere there, So stupid. I don't. These people think they're seeing a flying craft, and then it disappears. I like that. You're seeing a flying craft that's making no sound. You believe that. But if I told you that it's not flying? Okay? Not one person has ever said that. Because your mind is not open to understand what it is. It's not. You're not capable. Because you can't see behind any of the curtains. You don't know. How can you know? Because you want the quick and easy answer to something. It's not vague. It can't be explained simply. But everybody wants a simple explanation. Woo! What is it? That's a simple explanation for what you think you're seeing. What you think you're seeing. And I don't think there's an easy, simple, vague explanation for what you're seeing. It's beyond your comprehension. I want you to really think about what I just said. Okay? All right? You're looking for a very simple answer for something that is beyond your comprehension. I hope you like this one. There's all these books I've seen on UFOs and everything like that. Kind of like going around in circles, literally. Start by opening up your mind. You might even see the curtain first. If you see the curtain, that's the first step. Then you can look behind it and see what's really there. And then you'll see the other curtain. Most people they don't even see the curtain. They don't even see one. It's amazing. They don't show you the curtain on television, folks. They don't show it to you in movies. There might be some small hints in things, but that's not. You're not. You're seeing what most people see. It's nothing. It's like kind of like going to a movie in a way. You go and you watch the movie, right? And you just watch it. You watch it happen. And that's it. But you have to understand something that there's people that created that movie. You know, they put it together from the actors, producers, directors, editing, special effects, cinematographers, and camera people. They're all working on the same page, even though it's kind of decompartmentalized. But it all comes together. When it's all finally put together, it's put on the screen for you to see. But you don't see the work that goes in to make that. That you're not seeing that. That's behind the first curtain. You go behind the second curtain. That's where the script is drafted. The idea. The idea is past the script. That goes a little further. So it's a concept and idea first. And it's written out. Then put together, executed for presentation, and then shown. You don't understand because you're just watching it. Not understanding what's behind even the first curtain or anything even beyond that. It's too far beyond your understanding. Try to get an understanding of what I'm saying. Maybe, some clarity. You might learn something. I will give you more of my ideas of what I think. Some people call it down the rabbit hole, is what they call it. I don't really, well, it was Alice in Wonderland, I guess is the analogy. I prefer the curtain thing because it's kind of easier for people to rationalize, they know. It seems well, there's a curtain there, and then there's something there, and then there's more behind there, there's more behind there, more behind, The rabbit hole is just a straight down, Anyway, I hope that somehow helped you with your imagination. Now we'll continue to try to reach out in that way, to see things differently, and not just follow the narrative of what you're being told on television or in movies. Because that's essentially what it is. You're being told. You're not having an opportunity to open your mind, come up with your own assertion of what's going on. Till next time, I hope you enjoyed this one. Pretty good.